Om Shanti. Good morning, Diamond morning, and happy Sadhguru Day to everyone. Today Baba is teaching us what should be our final thoughts in the last moment so we can have the best destination. It's Murli of the 7th of July 2022. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, in order to be liberated from the chains of Ravan for 21 births, follow the Father's Shrimad. The Father comes to liberate you from all sorrow. Question: which destination is the highest and most difficult and requires effort over a long period of time? Answer: only the one Father should be remembered in the final moments. No one else should be remembered. This is the highest and most difficult destination. If anyone else is remembered, you have to take birth in this world. Therefore, practice having remembrance of Shiv Baba over a long period of time. Second question: why does the stage of some children fluctuate as they move along? Answer: because their faith is not strong. When faith is lacking, their stage goes up and down and fluctuates like mercury. Sometimes there is a great deal of happiness, and sometimes that happiness reduces. And the song of Baba's Murli, the innocent Lord is unique. Om Shanti. Baba says, you children understand that you are sitting personally in front of Shiv Baba, the innocent Lord, and that you are being taught easy Raja Yoga through the mouth of Brahma. The Father explains the essence of all the Vedas, the scriptures, the Granth, and the Upanishads. All of this only sits in the children's intellect. It is also shown in the pictures that establishment takes place through Brahma. Baba explains through Brahma the essence of all the scriptures and the Vedas. Who is explaining all of this to you, children? The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, Shiva, the innocent Lord. He is incorporeal. This is why he explains everything through Brahma. Those to whom he explains understand, and then they explain to others. If they're not able to explain to others, it means that they themselves have not understood. That is, they are senseless. Explanation is given to those who are senseless. The Father says to everyone, what he says to everyone, you are senseless. Do you know me, your Father? Your residents of Bharat had claimed the inheritance of the golden age self-sovereignty. Then, because of the kingdom of Ravan, you lost that inheritance. Due to the kingdom of Ravan, you became impure, senseless, and poverty-stricken. Everyone is now following devilish instructions. You understand that the Father made us sensible a cycle ago. That is, we became the masters of the world. We have now become slaves of Maya, not slaves to wealth and possessions, but slaves to Maya, Ravan. We are tied by the chains of the five vices and are in the cottage of sorrow. The kingdom of Ravan is definitely over the entire world. The entire world, and especially Bharat, are tied in the bondage of sorrow of Ravan. This is why whatever they do is wrong. The Father comes and tells you everything right. This is why the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is known as, because he tells us everything right. What is his title? It's very interestingly, he says here that this is why the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is known as the righteous one. Ravan is known as the unrighteous one. For half the cycle, there is a righteous kingdom, and for the other half, an unrighteous kingdom. The kingdom of Ravan is called the world of falsehood. Only you children understand that Shiva, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the ocean of knowledge, explains to us through Brahma. It is said, liberation in life can be claimed in a second. There are many who say that liberation in life can be claimed in a second. At this time, everyone, but especially Bharat, is in a life of bondage. The people of Bharat claim the inheritance of liberation in life in a second. You children understand that you now belong to God. God himself says, you are my children. You know that God establishes the new world, so he needs to come into the old world. The old world is called an impure, corrupt world. Everyone calls out to God and says, liberate our life, liberate us from sorrow. People do not know when there is the kingdom of sorrow or who establishes it. They may study many scriptures. They may be scholars or pundits, but they have a lot of arrogance. However, there is no one who can grant liberation in life in a second. No one can say that he can grant liberation in life or that he can grant salvation to all. I alone grant salvation to the entire world and especially to Bharat. It is said that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is the bestower of salvation for all. He is the liberator for all. He liberates everyone from sorrow. Does anyone liberate anyone from happiness? The Father liberates you from sorrow. Acha, okay. Who liberates you from happiness? Bharat was happy. Who liberated it from happiness and took it into sorrow? Ravan liberates you from happiness. Now, by following Srimad of Rama, referring to Shiv Baba God, you are becoming liberated for 21 births. That is called liberation in life or salvation. It is now fixed in the children's intellects that when Bharat was liberated in life, it was definitely the land of happiness. Bharat is now the land of sorrow in a life of bondage. It is a question of the unlimited. Therefore, the Father explains all of these unlimited things which limited human beings do not understand. Neither do they know heaven, nor do they know hell. They say that all of this is your imagination, that no one can become liberated in life. This is an eternally predestined drama. Nothing can change in this. Shiv Baba is the main one. He is known as the creator and the director. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar also have parts. Jagadamba, World Mother, and Jagat Pita, World Father, have parts as well. The deities too have parts. Then those of Islam, the Buddhists, etc., play their own parts. They all have to play their same parts again, and then there will be the part of one religion. Later, those of other religions will repeat their parts at their own times. You now know that at this time, it is the repetition of the part of the Brahmin clan. The Brahmin clan is being established through Prajapita Brahma. It is known as the community of Brahmins. The community of Christians is created through Christ. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul created Brahma and then created the Brahmin community through Brahma. So surely all of these would be the mouth-born creation. They cannot be born through sin. They say, you are our mother and father, and so they are all adopted children. This is an adoption. Brahma was adopted first. Then through Brahma, you Brahmins are adopted. You understand that you are the grandchildren of Shiv Baba and the children of Brahma. Firstly, it is the clan of Brahmins. It is the most important clan. You are only adopted now. This adoption does not take place again. Sannyasis also adopt. They adopt their followers. They should say to people, you cannot be called our followers. Only when you leave your families and business and put on saffron robes can you be called followers. Can you be called followers? Here, you Brahmins, you have to show this easy path of true Raja Yoga to everyone. You must explain something or the other. You receive the inheritance from the Father in a second. You will definitely receive the inheritance of liberation and liberation in life from the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. You must only remember Shiv Baba. The Father of all souls is Shiva. By remembering him, what is the benefit of remembering him apart from sins being absolved? He says, by remembering him, you will become the masters of heaven. You will not become the masters of heaven by remembering your Lokic fathers. You may stay in your households, but remember Shiv Baba. I, the soul, am Shiv Baba's child. Prabhupada is saying, or I can say that, I, the soul, am Shiv Baba's child. Have this firm faith. When you do not have firm faith, when you do not have full faith, your stage fluctuates like mercury. 1 minute your mercury of happiness would be high, and the next minute it would be forgotten. The Father says that you now have to return home, and that you will then come and take on a new skin. You understand that we have been taking rebirth. It is not a question of rebirth for snakes. They shed their old skins and take on new ones. In the same way, you also have to change them. Change the skin, the body. When a person gets old, he says that he has to depart. He has a vision that he is then to become a child. This is the system of the golden age. That soul knows that he will shed his body and become a child and receive a Satopradhan body. An old body is known as a decayed body. The world is new to begin with. Later on, the celestial degrees decrease. This is why it is divided into 4 parts. They say that the duration of each cycle is very long, and that souls have to transmigrate into 8.4 million species, and that you have reduced the duration of the cycle. However, look how much sorrow there is. By increasing the duration of the cycle, they think that souls have to take 8.4 million births. The Father sits here and explains this. He says, you must never forget this. A student never forgets his teacher. You understand that you are studying in this godly class. Those at all the centers listen to the Murlis, and the one who teaches is the ocean of knowledge. He alone is called the ocean of knowledge, the purifier, and the bestower of salvation for all. All means Bharat and all other lands. You are godly children. The more you study from God, what will be the benefit? The more you study from God, the higher your status will be. This study is very easy. Simply remember two words. You can tell anyone to remember the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the Unlimited Father, and you will receive the unlimited inheritance of heaven. That is all. This is what we can tell everyone. Just remember the one Father. Papa is emphasizing so much. Remember the one Father. It is said that if anyone else is remembered in your final moments, or if a man remembers his wife at the final moment, his birth would also be accordingly. The Father says, this destination is very high and difficult. Be cautious when climbing this ladder, and also caution one another. Continue to remember Shiv Baba. The Father sits here and explains to the children. And what he explains to the children? I have to uplift even those gurus through you mothers. Without you mother gurus, no one would be uplifted. The mothers are the instruments. The world mother is the main one. She has a lot of influence. Brahma does not have as much influence. He is only shown at Pushkar, that is a place where there is the temple to Brahma. Mostly men go there. There is a lot of respect for Amba, the mother. Melas take place everywhere where there are the temples to the goddesses. By following the instructions of gurus, you have been stumbling. What benefit was there? None whatsoever. Because it is the descending stage, Bharat has to become impure. No one can return home. You have understood that all human beings are impure. They are in their stage of decay. Everyone is included in that. People experience so much sorrow in this world. Sorrow increases at every step. You children understand that people outside are absolutely senseless. No one knows the Father. They even say, you are our mother and father. So surely he creates heaven. Those who have been and gone are praised, especially the deities. You now understand that heaven is being established once again. No other religion existed when there was heaven. Now that there are other religions, this foundation does not exist. Its foundation does not exist. Baba says, now that there are other religions, This one does not exist, the deity religion. Its foundation does not exist. The original eternal deity religion that used to exist is now being established once again. Then, for half a cycle, no other religions will emerge. Only the one religion will remain. For half a cycle, there was the Sun dynasty and the Moon dynasty, kingdom of self-sovereignty. This is your godly birthright. This is your heavenly God fatherly birthright. We are establishing our heaven. We are becoming worthy of ruling our kingdom. He is the one who is teaching us and making us worthy. He explains every day. Why he explains all of this every day? He says, in order to reinforce these things. He explains that Maya will not allow you to stay in remembrance. No matter how hard you try to remember Baba, the battle continues. The Father sits here and shows you the way. You are karma yogis. Yes, your children do distress you because this is the extreme depths of hell. Children here cause sorrow. Their children give happiness because this is the land of happiness. Baba says, their children give happiness because that is the land of happiness. There is nothing that would cause sorrow or impurity. Here, there is so much sorrow, and sicknesses are also very dirty. Some sicknesses never used to exist. There was no sickness called cancer. In heaven, there is no sickness, etc. When it becomes a devilish kingdom, all of these dirty sicknesses begin. This drama is predestined. There are beautiful cows in heaven. People say that Krishna had such beautiful cows, so they made him into a cowherd. Krishna was not really a cowherd. You say that Shiv Baba takes these living human cows to graze. And what he grazes us with? Baba says, he gives them the grass of knowledge. The urn of knowledge is placed on the mothers. Baba says, listen to what I say! Exclamation. First of all, Manmanabha, remember me, and your sins will be burnt away. This is a very easy method. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bab, Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharana. First point. Follow the Shrimad of the Father and do the service of liberating everyone from the chains of Ravan and of giving them the inheritance of liberation in life. Second point, only listen to the one Father. Forget everything else that you have heard. This destination is very high and difficult. Therefore, caution one another and remind each other of the Father and make progress in this way. Baba's blessing for today. May you be loved by the Father and the family by being trustworthy through your courage for the truth. The boat of truth. Baba says the boat of trust is truth. When you are honest in your heart and head, you automatically have the Father's and the family's love from their hearts and trust. Because of this trust, you receive all rights from them. You are then automatically loved by all. So be trustworthy with the courage of truth. Do not try to prove the truth, but become an embodiment of success, and you will continue to move forward at a fast speed. And the slogan for today, the wealthiest of all is one who has the treasure of peace and purity. The wealthiest of all is one who has the treasure of peace and purity. Om Shanti. So Baba is emphasizing so much on remembrance. And as our final thoughts, so will be the destination. And the destination is very high. So it means we have to keep making effort over a long period of time to have this remembrance so instilled in us that at the last moment we will naturally remember Shiva. Acha. Om